Hello, and welcome to The Phenomenal Show. I am your host, Joshua Harrell, and I am so happy to have you here, as always. In today's episode, we're going to talk about top 6 excuses that limit your success. Through the course of our journey so far, we've established a success mindset as our foundation to unleash the phenomenal force inside us all. The next step is to aggressively deal with any limiting beliefs you may have. These are like anchors that you drag along with you. They sap your motivation and resolve. It's common to make excuses for your lack of success. The excuses are comforting in their own way. The end result is to justify to the world and yourself why you're not doing better. Many of us have a series of excuses that we can pull out of a hat at a moment's notice. There's always one that seems to fit the bill perfectly. This is done largely to protect ourselves and to justify our current circumstances. Are any of these excuses holding you back from success? What about, I don't know how? This common excuse gives you permission to not even try. However, this excuse simply doesn't hold water. At no time in the history of mankind has there been so much information available to you. Want to start a charity? There are hundreds of books on the subject. Need to lose 100 pounds? There are thousands of resources available to you. One of the best ways to figure out how to do something is to find a qualified mentor. Another effective option is to simply try and then adjust your approach based on results. Just learn as you go along and continue to improve. What about this excuse? I'm afraid. This is perhaps the most socially acceptable answer. Who hasn't been afraid? But there is very little to legitimately fear in our modern times. In most circumstances, you're not in danger of being eaten by a lion or fall off a cliff. Most of our fears are socially based and have no real consequences. Being afraid isn't a valid excuse 99% of the time. Would you rather be successful or protect your ego? That's a big question to answer. What about this excuse? I don't have enough time. Do you really believe this? Nearly all of us waste time on activities that provide no real value, including binge watching TV, surfing the web, and a host of other time wasters. You know in your heart, you could make the time for something that was truly important to you. All right, what about this excuse? I don't have enough money. This is another common excuse, but there's usually a way to work around a lack of financial resources. For example, if you'd like to learn to play the piano but can't afford one, you could find a free piano on Craigslist or something like that, or maybe a friend who thought that they were going to be the next great pianist and has never touched it. You could probably get it from them. Pick up an inexpensive used keyboard in a pawn shop or music store. Even ask a local church, school, community center to use their piano after hours. That's definitely an option. Even colleges, locate a piano you can use at your local college. There are, if you get creative, there are ways around or ways to overcome that financial challenge. Now, what about this excuse? It's too late for me. It's too late. A person climbed Mount Everest in his 80s. People have gone back to medical school in their 60s. What would you like to do? Getting a late start might be less convenient and more challenging, But there's nothing wrong with that. It means that you'll only take on the challenges that are really important to you. That could be a good thing. To be fair, there are a few things that require an earlier start than others. You're not likely to play in the NBA if you take up basketball in your 30s, but you could be a coach, or what about working in their offices? That's an option. What about this excuse? It's too hard. Some endeavors are certainly more competitive than others, but claiming that something is too hard is really just another way of admitting that you're afraid. The truth is that people with limited resources and talent can still be extremely successful and powerful. We tend to imagine the competition is much tougher than it really is. The average person doesn't have a lot of control over themselves. They're not truly committed. Those with motivation and stamina are really the ones who succeed. People that are successful on a regular basis tend to have the fewest excuses. How could it be any other way? Those with excuses are able to justify not taking action. However, no action equals no results. So put aside your excuses and go after what you truly want. You'll be very, very glad that you did. So thinking about all of this, what are the excuses you use to justify not taking action or setting larger goals? What do you tell yourself when you think of chasing after a big goal, but then decide against it? Here's what I want you to do. I stuttered there. Make a list of the excuses that you use that prevent you from being more successful. Then examine how these excuses have limited you in the past. Consider the damage they will consider to cause in the future. Find evidence to prove to yourself that your excuses are inaccurate. And take one action that gets you past one of your excuses and moves you towards a goal. All right? So you got some homework to do there. But as I have been doing in quite a few of these shows, I have an affirmation specifically based on this particular lesson. And I'm going to share that with you right now. I am free of self-limiting beliefs. Although my parents and society impressed their beliefs on me as a child, I have the final say over what I believe as an adult. The only beliefs that I entertain are those that are self-nurturing. I know that beliefs can drive behavior. Therefore, I critically analyze my thoughts. I see the world in a positive light. I only entertain ideas that are in line with who I truly am. I nurture my self-esteem. I deserve success and happiness, and I have the tools to achieve them. I can easily recall times when I have been successful. I hold the feeling of winning close to my heart. I know that I can achieve greatness just by being myself. There are many things that I can do better than anyone else. I cultivate and nurture my talents. I am confident because I know my strengths. I am insulated against self-doubt. I choose to believe in myself, even during challenging times. My sense of self is anchored in my knowledge that I am worthy of love and success. It comes from within. Like anyone else, I make errors, but I turn them into learning experiences. Although I look to the future, I also take time to recall my past successes. Today, I choose to release any lingering self-doubts, I realize that my performance can soar higher and higher as I continue to believe in myself. I take full advantage of life's many learning experiences. Sorry. Now that affirmation, I do get a lot of questions about where these affirmations live. So they live on the Facebook page, the Phenomenal Show Facebook page. So always look for them there, or you can find them on my website. You can find all the episodes of the Phenomenal Show on my website at joshuaharrell.com. So you can always go back to that. But with these affirmations, I also have some journal prompts to help you think about these affirmations and the thoughts behind them. So here are some journal prompts based on this affirmation. When has the fear of failure kept me from trying? What bearing does my past performance have on my present potential? And finally, how would my life change if I constantly visualized success? So that is the show. I hope that gives you some stuff to think about. Of course, we're on this mission to awaken the phenomenal force inside us all. And I am always happy that you are here to join me on this journey. I have one request. Please subscribe and rate the show. That's very important. And if you want more, join me on Facebook. Just search for The Phenomenal Show. You're going to get information on upcoming shows, as well as just more tools and resources as we go along, as we continue on this journey to awaken that phenomenal force inside. So with that, I want to say thank you for joining me. And I can't wait until we are together again real soon. Take care.